Hey y'all, guess what? We're back. It's Joseph.
And it's Isaiah, and welcome to another episode of the Life Unfiltered podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today is going to be a new episode, something we're not usually familiar with doing. This is our first episode, but we're going to be introducing ourselves as people and as your hosts so that you can get a feel for how real life can really be. I don't think we talk about how real life gets anymore, guys. Like, especially in our generation. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I feel like people don't talk about real life enough. And I think that's why we started this.
It is. You want to give them a rundown of how we got to where we are and who we are as people?
Well, I am doing great. Today I'm a little sick as you guys can hear, but that
I,
doesn't stop the game. Doesn't stop. I guess you can kind of tell them how we met and everything. I'll let you take that part.
all right, y'all. So it was about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, during COVID. Life was pretty difficult for a lot of people during that time. I know a lot of people close to me passed away. I know a lot of people close to Joseph passed away.
Oh,
And
horrible time.
really bad time, especially in America and in the world. I think it had only been another generation, like 2 or 3 generations ahead of us, that had experienced a global pandemic like COVID. Um, so me and Joseph met on an app called Wiz. At the time, I'm gonna be honest, guys, I was not looking for any guys to hang out with or talk to on that app, especially not people like Joseph. Joseph, Joseph is kind of an outgoing,
I'm
you
very
know,
unique in my way, but I do not recommend getting on that app today. It is kind of
very,
crazy.
very scary. Joseph is more of a type of, Joseph when you see Joseph. I'm more of
Yes.
a quiet and reserved person, you know. Um, but we both have like really big personalities, and we're both really outgoing people. I think that's why we became good friends in like the short time that we did. I think it was
Why are we doing a podcast? I don't know, but we're gonna
I
do our
why
best.
because it's because life happens, guys, and like sometimes you just need to talk about your feelings.
Right.
And most of the time, if you have them, you go to them. If you don't have them, that's okay. We'll be them for you. You go to your friends, your good friends, and you talk to your friends. And Joseph, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've ever given you any bad advice.
No, I think you're the one who actually told me to greenlight the project and, give it a shot. Cause I was really unsure, you guys. Like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this. And I was like, you know what? Let's just give it a whirl because, I wrote 3 books. About myself and like my personal trauma. So I was like, you know what?
Oh,
Let me talk to people and have fun.
yeah, and so that's why we created Life Unfiltered. I think we came up with the name, Joseph, when I was driving back from college one weekend, and I was like, what would be a good name of something that like pops? Life Unfiltered, because I feel like sometimes throughout life we start filtering out the good, filtering out the bad, and just start picking and choosing what we want to keep and remember. And unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. You got to take the
Right.
good with. Um, Speaking of the good with the bad, time for introductions. Um, I'll go first since I'm already talking. I'm Isaiah. I'm from a small town in the Piedmont region of North Carolina called Hillsborough. I'm actually a Chapel Hillian, so all my Tar Heel fans, let me know what's up. Um, my family has been in Chapel Hill for 8 generations. Um, my mom, she was born in Pittsburgh. My dad, he was born in Chapel Hill. They met in high school. They stayed in contact throughout the crazy parts of life. And we'll get into that a little bit later. We might have my dad on in one of the episodes coming up. A little teaser.
Oh,
But yeah, that's how my parents met. And in 2005, they had me. Um, their beautiful baby boy that they didn't know that they were gonna have. Um, they were probably scared. They were probably excited because they had a lot going on at the time. But I know that they were grateful to have me. And I grew up really close to my grandparents. They have both sadly passed away. But my grandfather taught me a good hard work ethic, and my grandmother taught me how to be gentle. And I still carry those values with me today. Um, growing up, for me, I was always kind of seen as like the outsider. I don't know. I just always felt like I was either too much or not enough in social aspects. Um, when I got to middle school, I started playing sports. That helped a lot. Um, high school, same thing. Started playing sports. I got really into cars. I had always been kind of always had like a high mechanical aptitude, some would say, for like engines and like cars and stuff like that. So I was fortunate enough to meet my automotive instructor, Mr. B, for lack of a better word, because if we had him on here, he would want to get paid. He also taught me get your money how you can get your money, guys. As long as you're happy with it, doesn't matter how you get it. Um, so Mr. B, he took me under his wing. He taught me how to work on cars, basically, do everything it is to do on a car. And he had a racing team. You can read about it in the Daily Tar Heel newspaper. Um, Chapel Hill High School racing team. I had an excerpt in the newspaper. That was a pretty cool thing for me. Um, we had won the Wix Filters High School of the Year award for automotive aptitude. And what that means is that we were the best school in the state of North Carolina for our automotive program. So we had a short track NASCAR team at school, in high school. Some people might say, "Oh my God, that's crazy! Oh my God, that's so." Um, it was a big responsibility, especially considering I had realized that cars was the thing I wanted to do for the rest of my life, especially considering I was so good at it. I wasn't always the best at it. I didn't always know what I was doing, but I never gave up. And that's always the biggest thing. If you have a dream, chase it. Don't let anyone tell you differently, and get it how you can get it, man. Just keep your nose on the grindstone and keep going. Um, I ended up going to college for cars and ultimately racing. I worked in NASCAR for a few seasons. Um, I'm still under an NDA, so I can't really tell you what teams I worked for, but they were big teams. Won a few races. I came back home to Chapel Hill after I graduated from college, and this is where I've been. Just happy to be back home with my dad. We're talking about grief next in my life. My mom passed away in February of 2025. While I was in the middle of college. I still remember the day very vividly. I was getting up, getting ready to go to classes for the day. I remember the exact class I was in. It was in automatic transmissions with Mr. Glenn, and we were about to take our lab final for the day. And my dad called me. He was like, "Son, you gotta come home. Uh, Mama's not doing so great. She had been sick for a few weeks. Um, thought she was gonna do a lot better. She didn't end up being better. She ended up passing away that Friday. And my mom was always a big part of my life. She was always the one that I could go to for advice and for help. And when things were going great, I would go to my mom. When things were going terrible, I used to go to my mom. Um, she was just always a good constant in my life, like most people's parents are. And in the pretty crucial time in my life, she was gone. And I always felt like it was going to be something to the effect of like, hey, your mom passed away. I'm talking about like years and years from now. Like, I'm old. I have kids. I probably have grandkids, and they're telling me that your mom's going. It's something, what I'm trying to get at, guys, is it's something that you can't really prepare yourself for. I don't think anyone can prepare yourself for grief like that, especially considering somebody so close to you at such a young age. I was 19 when my mom passed away. So I ended up thankfully getting really close with my dad. Me and my dad had always been close, but we got really, really close. And I think that's what saved me because my dad had known my mom, for like 50 years. Yeah, my parents are old, guys. They're pretty old. But, you know someone for 5 decades and you get close to them. You start to realize that you can't live without this person. And all of a sudden, they're gone. And me and my dad now, we laugh, we joke. It's almost like I have a roommate now. Like, that's the level of closeness me and my dad have. Like, he knows what I'm thinking before he thinks it. I know what he's thinking before he thinks it. And we're just really happy. Um, yeah, I mean, that's a lesson in itself that something good can always come out of something bad. You just have to look for it. Sometimes you might not always see it to begin with, but it's always there. Um, that's my life story so far, a little rundown of my life for the past 3 or 4 years. Joseph?
Yeah, a lot of what I have lived through is like in my books, obviously, but I'll give you guys a quick rundown. Um, you know, I'm from New Jersey, born and raised in Newark. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to top Zay here, but I'm gonna try. But my mom, I was raised up there for a couple months. Fun fact, actually, I busted my head open running down the stairs. I tripped on a Matchbox car. Was in the hospital for about 3 weeks, healing. Um, my time of the life in Jersey was so much fun, and then my mom moved to North Carolina with my father. They were living there happily ever after. They were happy to have me. And then, my mom announced that she was pregnant to like all of my family with my brother. I still have actually my scrapbook of when I was little and when she announced it to everybody. The shock on my face was just so cute. I looked so adorable when I was younger. I still do look adorable to this day. Um, but then my mom moved back to Jersey, and then kind of life went downhill there. So then my mom moved back to North Carolina, and that's where I've been since. I miss my grandparents so much because they live in Jersey. High school was fun. Being a kid was fun. Eating mud pies was fun. I don't know if most people know what that is, but if you're from the South, you kind of get what it is. It's basically like
Yeah.
a pie that's mud, and I don't know how to describe it. Just look it up. A mud pie is really fun. But I remember eating mud pies when I was little. There's pictures of me, little me, Mrs. Little, big me, Mrs. Little me. But that's part of growth and struggling and healing. You change so much throughout day to day. I feel like I'm still growing, still healing. You guys know a big part of my life was when I was in high school. I lost someone really, really close to me. Not like my parents or anything, but I did lose my dad in a way. And I also lost like my really close boyfriend to me. It was almost my fiance. I think he was gonna propose to me that night. I talk about it in my books, so I'm trying not to go into too much detail for you guys. But I feel like that person was a really big part of my life, and I'm sure Zay can kind of attest to that. Person was a really big part of my life, and like when I lost him, I was say that was like the biggest downfall right there. Like my life started just trembling down the hills. It was like I lost someone, my family was going through it. Um, I was facing an eviction, getting sued. I had a lot of stuff going on then. So I just started journaling. And I feel like that really helped me make it. And like Zay said, don't stop until you are knowing what you want to do. Like if you dream for something, chase that dream. Because in a million years, I would have never thought I would have 3 books in the world and I would be hosting a podcast with one of my friends, one of my best friends. And it's just like so crazy that life is inspiring to be so much for me. And especially like right now in the time of the world it is, you guys just have to make sure you have a positive mindset, you have great friends, a great circle, and chase the dreams. Right now I'm in school to be a real estate agent. I got my certificate. I take my test soon again. I'm super excited. This will be my second time taking it. Who knows? I might fail, I might not. I don't know. But you guys got to remember to chase your dreams. I feel like that is the biggest part in life. And it's just the craziest thing. But I don't want to let out too much because most of it is in my books. So you guys have to make sure to go read all 3 of them.
Read them all, guys. Trust me. I lived through it with him, and Joseph does an amazing, amazing job walking y'all through how he's feeling and the emotions that he's going through while he's writing these books. And Joseph, not if I'm not mistaken, um, take me through like what that process was like
It
for you.
was, I didn't think anything of it when I started writing. I just had a journal, like a composition notebook. Keep in mind, it wasn't nothing. Oh, like I said, y'all gotta bear with me for a second. I'm kind of sick. So I might cough here and there. Don't be embarrassed. It happens. Life is life. But the way it kind of came about was, my mom got a hold of my journal. She read it. She was like, this would be like a great storytelling. So I pitched it to like one of my investor friends from business class in high school. I don't really talk much about like my personal life because most of it is in the book. But when I was in high school, I was really going through it, like I said. I had lost someone really close to me my junior year, I think it was. I think it was like middle junior year. I was really struggling with like losing someone. And if you guys need help, call 988. They are always there for you. It is like what we'll get if you need to talk to someone, someone is always there. Do not forget that. Um, but I pitched the journal and they were like, it's such a great storytelling. So then I wrote the first one. And then I guess it did so well, I went back for a second one. And then the second one did such an amazing job. That one talks, about my father and everything. It kind of gets really emotional towards the second one. I would say my first one is like more of my childhood. The second one talks about the abuse I struggled. And then the third one is like me in high school and what I really struggled to get through as a high school student. Because when I came out of high school, I felt like I wasn't motivated at all, like at all. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to pay my car payment. I didn't want to do anything. And I'm sure Zay can also attest to that
I
between,
and especially coming out of college where their whole driving point is we're gonna get you a job. We're gonna get you ready for the workforce. We're gonna get you where you want to be. And they did a great job at that. I, however, was the type of student that I would give 110 when I felt like giving 110 and not all the time. I was still a good student, don't get me wrong. I still did great in school. Um, with the help of someone very close to me, very special to me. Joseph know who she is. Um,
yes, I
without her,
do.
I don't think I could have passed. Bar, if you're listening to this, thank you so much. I don't think I've told you enough how much that you meant to me, especially getting me through school. But um, with that being said, I would spend countless hours studying every day, at least 6 extra hours a day studying. Even when I didn't have a car, even when I was waiting on other people to give me rides, I would still find time to study. If I had to get there 6.5 hours early before my class, I did that. And so for me to put in that type of effort that nobody sees and then still fall short, it put me in a sense of like, okay, why am I still doing this if nobody cares? It felt like nobody cared about the effort that I was putting in. And that can be disheartening, especially considering you're 3 weeks away from graduation. All of your buddies have jobs. All your buddies have honor cords. They have perfect attendance. Your attendance is terrible.
Like, I'm
Everybody
completely opposite to you in high school. I was like,
telling you it was bad. This is in college. This is in college,
I
guys.
feel
Like,
that too for real estate. I didn't really want to do anything in real estate school. Like, Zay can
yeah.
attest to that. I was always like, when he called me, he's like, "Are you studying?" I'm like, "Yeah, no."
And I feel like with us being like okay students of high school, college kind of taught us like, okay, this isn't public education anymore. You're paying to be here. So act
Right.
like be here. And it took a lot of growing up for me to like realize that, hey, people have counted on you. People have spent money on you to do this. You need to tighten up. You need to get right. So about halfway through halfway through my college career, I decided that I was really going to tighten up. And that was about the time before my mom passed away. And so I made a vow to myself that regardless of what I have to do, I'm going to get it done for my mom because she never got to see me graduate college. She did get to see me graduate high school, but she never got to see me graduate college. And that was big for me because I graduated from my mom both times, but then I realized she's not here anymore. So I have to start living for me. I have to start doing for me. So by the time I graduated from college, guys, I was really, really depressed. I felt like
Yes.
because I didn't have a job. It took me like 4.5 months to find a job after I graduated. And I
Yes.
felt like a freeloader living at home, just like I was praying to God, like, man, God, if this is what I'm really, really cut out to do, send me a job, send me something. And that's when one of my buddies, good friend of mine, reached out to me and was like, hey, man, they're hiring where I work. They pay pretty good. You have automotive experience, you have mechanical experience. Come check it out. Unfortunately, guys, that job didn't work out. So I'm back in that spot of life where, okay, I'm on the rebound where I have to get back up, shake the dust off, and keep pushing.
Mhm.
And life is going to do that to you, especially, I think, especially with us being young people, we don't
We're
normalize,
living and we're learning. I feel like that's the
right?
biggest thing.
And we don't normalize like it's okay to screw up. It's okay to be a failure sometimes. Like, not don't make a habit out of it. Don't get me wrong. You should
Don't do it all the time. You gotta push for like what you want.
always try to overachieve in everything you do. Yes, it gets tiring, but the little things matter. And with that being said, I want to turn it back to Joseph because Joseph is a king or queen
Oh.
of making the little things.
Yeah, when I was writing, I'm gonna kind of touch base on my books again. When I was writing, I'm sure Zay saw like the raw version. The way I
I
had to tighten up the manuscript because it was so emotional of how I wrote it. It was just I couldn't put that in the real world. I had words in there that I should. I had names. You guys, it's a lot that goes into writing. I would say my mental health really struggled through that time when I had to reopen the wounds, but I feel like that is what kept me going. You know, I'm writing this to actually get closure on everything that I want. Like, I want to know that, you know, I lost my father to sensitive things, sensitive topics. I'm not going to discuss them, you guys. That's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. But I feel like it's just a lot of moving components in life, in everyday situations. Um, Losing someone very close to you is very, very hard. I think I can agree with Zay on that. It's very hard. So, you guys just have to, I'm not sure, like, continue to push for what you want to guide, what you guys want to push for. Like I said, I'm sick, so I'm kind of struggling here. So, yeah. Zay, what do you think life is about? Like, what is your goal in life?
My goal in life,
Yes.
honestly, is just to be a good person, man. Spread love, spread God,
I love spreading love. Spreading love is like the biggest thing that I love
spread
to do.
spread God, just spread humanity again, man. Because like the world we live in now, it
It's
gets to the
crazy.
sometimes it's such crazy things happening now, guys. Like
Like right now in this present moment, like
it it's hard to think that like 7,000 miles away somebody's getting shot at because
getting
somebody
bombed.
getting bombed too. Somebody doesn't agree with somebody. But that's a touchy one. We'll come back to that later. um, we want to get renewed for another episode.
Yeah, right. Like we don't want to get in trouble.
So we're gonna come back to that one later. But a prayer goes out to all the brave men and women fighting overseas,
Yes. Thank
regardless of what
you.
we
Thank
agree
you
with.
guys for your service. That is like the biggest thing. Thank you.
For real, regardless of what we agree with stateside, they're the ones brave enough to sign up, put their life on the line, regardless of if they agree with it or not. They're still doing it for us. So big shout out to the men and women in uniform giving their lives right now for our freedom. Um,
Yes.
yeah, man, just life is about being good to people. You know, you can't, I don't think you can go through life happily.
Without
With
being good to people.
that too. I was gonna say
And
without
Zay has been like such an amazing person to me. I know I touch on it in my books. You know, he helped me build my relationship with God. The way he helped me like start to pray, start talking to him. It was great. Like Zay really taught me a lot about that. And I just can't thank him enough. I don't think you can have a bad bone in your body to be mean to people. Like I know I can't. Like when I go in the store, I'm like, oh my goodness.
yeah, I mean, as nice as it sounds, Gerald, I am still human at the end of the day.
Right. We
I
are.
do
We are still human.
we're all still human. We're all gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes so many times a day I can't even count them. But I know that I ask for forgiveness more times than I make mistakes. And that might be not just from God, but just from the people around me. Like, just bear with me, man. Like, especially one of my buddies. The job he helped me get, I had to like ask for forgiveness because he stuck his neck out on the line, and I ended up proving to the employer like I probably wasn't a good fit for that position. And my buddy stuck his neck out for me. And it reflected on him at the end of the day.
I did that one time for someone and they got fired and it like really affected me. So so you gotta be careful who you trust nowadays. Not saying like you had any bad intentions or anything like that, but when you
It,
stick your hand out, it has an effect on somebody else.
it does. Um, but fortunately enough, he forgave me. We're still great friends. We actually went out to the lake last weekend, had a great time. Shout out to my buddy Colby. If you're listening to this, man, we very appreciate it. We're gonna pass it to Joseph for the ad.
Oh,
Uh,
the ad. Yes,
I
so
bet, guys, this is the first ad that we're gonna have. So Joseph,
um,
take it away.
yes, you guys, we are gonna roll to ad break. Enjoy the ad. We put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, enjoy. Before we get back into the episode, this segment is sponsored by Books by Banky. I recently released the final part of my story, and I'm not gonna lie, it touches on a lot of real and heavy experiences.
This book includes topics like mental health, grief, suicide, and substance abuse. So we do want to give a quick content warning. Listener discretion is advised. If at any point this feels overwhelming, please take a moment, pause, or skip ahead. If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide or self harm, please reach out for help. In the US, you can call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, available 24/7. If you're outside the US, please contact your local emergency services or a mental health professional in your area. You are not alone and help is available.
It's not an easy story, but it's a real one. And if you choose to read it, just know it comes from a place of honesty. You can find it in the description. All right, let's get back into the episode.
Welcome back to Life Unfiltered with Isaiah and Joseph. Thank you so much for that wonderful ad. Joseph, take it away, man.
All right, so I think we should talk about mental health. You know, it is a big, big thing in life. I would say I struggled really bad. I don't know if you struggled bad with mental health. I'm sure you did when you lost, a very close person to you.
Wouldn't say it's funny that you say that. I wouldn't say I struggled. And it's funny that I say that because people, when you lose someone that close to you, people expect you to be grief stricken. And like
Yeah.
a lot of times when somebody passes away, that person passes away with that person. That wasn't the case with me and my mom. I remember the same night that she passed, I came home. I picked my dad up from the hospital. I came home and I just collapsed on the floor, man, and cried like a baby. And I remember my dad holding me and picking me up and saying, "Son, we got to get through this. We have to leave this right here, right now, or else it will follow us the rest of our lives." So that's what I did, man. I cried for like an hour, bawled my eyes out. I got up, I felt refreshed. But that was also the hand of God, I feel like, touching me, getting me through that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, I still hear my mom's voice. It's like, as I'm doing this podcast, I can hear her saying she's proud of me, So like,
I'm sure she is. I'm very sure she is.
I can always feel that she's with me. And also, faith for me and my family is a very big thing. We've always been a faith-based family, even though through times and like tribulations throughout life, it might not have seemed that way to people on the outside looking in, but like we have always like believed that regardless of what you go through,
Right.
it's a purpose for something. Because I can remember when my mom passed. A disclaimer, guys, it is going to be discussing suicide, the next thing I'm talking about. So if that's a touchy thing for y'all, just skip ahead 2 or 3 minutes. When I got back to school, one of my good friends, James, his cousin committed suicide, and he asked me, he was like, "Man,
Oh
let me ask you."
no, that's like the worst thing because it happened firsthand to me. So I know exactly what that person was feeling like. It's such a horrible feeling.
He was like, "Man, how did you get through your mom dying, bro?" I was like, "Man, look, be honest with you," and I told him the truth. Tell y'all exactly what I told him. I had to trust God, bro, because that's all I knew how to do. That's the only thing I had holding me together. Like my faith in God was getting me through where I was at. And James actually texted me like 3 days ago and was like, "Man, thank you so much." Because I think his grandma just passed.
Oh
And
no.
he was like, "Man, you were right. That faith in God really helps when you're going through a tribulation like this." So shout out to my boy JG. He know who he is. Um, Yeah, I have a lot of friends that have gone through a lot of crazy things.
I mean,
I can remember.
I've gone through some crazy things, but I didn't believe in God when that person had passed away. So it was really, really rough on me. Like I didn't talk to nobody for some months. I was really just to myself for 3, 4 months after. And I sat front row at the funeral. So it was hard. It was hard for me to like say my goodbyes, but I still did it. But I say if I would have had believed in God in that moment, I feel like it would have helped me get through it more than what I got through. But
Right,
journaling really helped me push that, push it out and get it out of my head to help me get to the point I am today.
right. I well, Joseph, back to the original question at hand. I think I have had a mental health crisis before,
Me
man.
too. I've definitely had one.
My One of my closest friends, in middle school, he passed away. He had an asthma attack medication overdose in his sleep, and we had an argument that day, the day before he passed away,
Ugh, see,
and
just like me, I had an argument with this person that I was supposed to be going to dinner with. If you guys are wondering who I'm talking about, Jack, I know he's probably listening and telling me I'm doing an amazing job from up there.
right,
But, he crashed his car and we had an argument the day before about Valentine's Day dinner. And I was like, I don't want this place and he wants that place, but I'm allergic to shellfish. And we had a really bad argument and we didn't talk. And then he was like, meet me here. And I was like, okay, we're going to have a chat. It's going to go good. Maybe he'll propose. I've been with this man for 3.5 years. I was thinking all was good. Next thing I know, I'm sitting at dinner and boom, it's just like, it's 11 o'clock. The restaurant's closing, still not here. 3 a.m., his mom's calling me. Hey, tried to kill himself. 5 hours later, ends up dead. So it's just life is crazy. And like, you don't want to blink too fast.
and I'm like 12 or 13, losing. This was like the first like big loss from someone outside of my family that I can remember,
Mm.
and I remember going, and it was like four of us that were like all really, really, really close. I went to the other three, and I was like, man, what are we gonna do? Like, I didn't have the same faith in God that I have now. Then I was still what some people consider a babe in Christ, a new believer, and I was just like, wow, how do I get past this, man? Because like I had thought about me and this person's friendship for like the rest of our lives. Like he was gonna be the best man at my wedding. We were gonna rule high school together. We were gonna be that yin and yang duo that everybody like, that storybook,
That fantasy, that fairy tale.
right? That fairy tale high school experience with your best friend. And
Me and mine fell out in high school. So,
that never happened, you know? And I had to, it humbled me because it made me realize like how valuable and how vulnerable young life can be, because I think my buddy was 14 when he died. Um, you don't get that back. You don't get, especially when it's a young person. Like this person had their whole life ahead of them, whole life ahead of them, and it was gone over a mistake. And I felt responsible for that mistake because he asked me the same day, the day before, had he taken his medication. I told him I didn't know because I
mm.
didn't. And I felt responsible. I did. I blamed myself for a long time, and I had to forgive myself, not just because of the age I was at when this happened, but because it was going to follow me the rest of my life if I didn't. And I don't think we give ourselves enough grace and forgive ourselves enough for things that we do or don't do, or things that we might seem like it was our fault when it had nothing to do with us. Like, been a lot of situations in life I felt like I was at fault,
But
and
we really don't know if we were at fault.
not that we don't know if we were at fault. I feel like we blame ourselves because we don't have the answer for what we're asking ourselves. So we have no one else to blame but ourselves, and so we just blame ourselves for something. Like
Yeah. Well, in other good news, I'm going to shift the conversation away from death, grief, and suicide. We are going to shift it to where we are in life. I feel like, we've had enough conversation about that. So let's talk about where we are in life. Um, I think I'm at a good spot. I'm in real estate. I'm not in real estate school anymore, but I'm studying to get my license. I'm really nervous to even be taking the test again because last time I failed and I didn't pass. I had a 61. That is one of the hardest tests I've ever taken, other than my SATs. I feel like my SATs was a little hard.
I flunked my SATs. I don't think I did that bad. I think I had like, wait, which one is the ACT where you have like the 100 score, like the break?
Yes, I believe so.
I think I had like a 30 on my SAT and like
My
a
SAT, yeah, I did okay with it, but when I tell you this real estate exam is a little bit harder, oh my goodness, it is.
yeah.
But I think me in life is great. I like going to see houses that are on the market. I'll just randomly go out, have a little bit of a day, like just random day, and go tour houses. I want to see what. Oh my goodness. Zay, I'm going to hand it to you for just a second. Let me take care of this cough.
All right. Um. Yeah, I feel like right now in life, I'm still blossoming into a young adult, and well, I'm past that adolescent stage in life to the point where I have time to figure it out. Life is here, and right now I'm just rolling through the punches, baby. You just got to do what you got to do. Um, I'm happy for the most part. I can't complain. I have a roof over my head. I have hot food on my table. Somewhere,
Hello.
you know, everything it takes to like survive, and I'm just going through it. One step at a time. Keeping the faith first. Making sure that everything is copacetic with me and my dad. Making sure my family's good, life's good, the relationships I have are good. It might not always be great. Might have messed that up a couple of times, to be honest. That's another episode.
Right. I feel like I can get into that too. Me and my mom have went back and forth about so many things, but my
Yeah,
mom is like my whole world to me. Um, she's like my rock. Like she's pushing me to do what I have to do to get my real estate license. And I really want it. It's like one of my biggest goals, but I feel like it's so far from reach right now. Cause, studying's a lot. The price of stuff is just absurd. I mean, hello. Why is gas almost $5 a gallon? Like, please, someone and tell me.
that's true. That's true,
I've
man.
never seen the price of gas this high in
Hey,
the South.
look, man. I'm just blessed I have money to fill up my car.
Right. I know some people are really struggling out there making minimum wage still. And hello, the North Carolina minimum wage is only 7.25. That ain't gonna get you very far. But
That's it. 725.
yeah, it's still 7.25. It's been that way since 2006, a decade.
Wow, we're in the Stone Ages,
But
man.
anyways, that's for another
Hey,
episode.
Joseph, 2006 would have been 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, it would have been. So it's been 2 decades. No, it's been like
2 decades.
almost, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like and owning a dog, hello. I never known having so many things is so expensive. I thought me getting a
Shout out to our
car
parents, man, because like they really held it down
while we
growing
were
up.
young.
Seriously.
Because when I wanted a dog, when I wanted this, when I wanted that, they did it. But
They
now
paid
me
for the
growing
gas.
up,
they paid for gas, they paid for food for us, they paid for all the clothes we needed.
Right.
Everything. Raising a child is expensive, guys. We need to start paying our parents back for raising us, honestly, because it's not cheap. I know my parents have spent at least over $150,000 raising me, at least.
Right. I
Considering I have
mean,
special feet, like I wear a size 16 and a half. It's not cheap to find. I've been a size 16 since high school, and I'm a growing boy.
and I felt bad when I wanted, like, when I used to say, "Oh yeah, I want this Adidas backpack for $160." I thought that was nothing to them.
Yeah, because you didn't work for it, man. When you start
Now I
working
turn
for it,
around and I'm like, "Wait, I want these shoes, but they're like $300-400. Wait, I want to go to a concert. I can't. I'm an adult." Like,
adulting is hard, guys. Adulting can
and like
can
when I wanted a pet, my mom was like, "Yeah, yeah, sure." I didn't know how much a pet was. Now that I have a dog, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You got to get vaccinations. You got to have registrations. You got to do all of this. You got to feed them. You got to take care of them like human beings.
yeah, it's like a little human being, man. You gotta raise,
It's
but
crazy
it's
to
more.
me. But I wouldn't trade anything for the world for my dog. So I'm happy. But, when I got my car, my first year owning it, my Kia, I didn't have to change the oil. I didn't have to buy brakes. I didn't have to do the tires. They did all of that. They registered it, everything for me.
Yep.
Now I have to do all of that. It's my first year doing it. And when I tell you, I have hit the brakes on spending money. I mean, I don't think Zay's ever seen me not spend money like I was.
I have seen Joseph buy a $450 YSL bag and not use it.
Like
And
this
I was
month, I haven't bought anything that's outrageously crazy.
now his definition of outrageous and my definition of outrageous are two different things. But I'm also the type of person. I'm also the type of person that would spend like $7,000 in tools. So like
But
to
that's
him,
like kind of investing in yourself if you think about it. My kind of outrageous is like if I spend like $200 on a dresser, that's kind of outrageous.
that's valid. That's an outrage. That's valid.
Or if I spend money on a YSL bag or brand new sneakers, knowing I got car registration coming up, knowing I got rent coming up, all of that stuff.
Our battles, guys, as young people. I feel like we start neglecting finances, you know.
And
But
school didn't teach us this. I didn't know how to budget money. I had to watch YouTube 101, baby. Because whoever wants to teach us how to do finances, let me tell you, it's not what it seems to be. That's all I gotta say. I'm sure they can agree. Finances are not the thing to play with.
man, look, and don't have a hobby, man. Like all hobbies are expensive now. Like I think I just have really expensive hobbies, like going to the like golfing or like going to the racetrack
Yo,
with my
golfing is expensive. I
golfing is very
swear.
expensive. I think me and two of my buddies went to play like 2 rounds of golf at the golf course, and it was like $150 for like an hour.
Crazy. Just crazy.
And it was 18 people.
One of my hobbies are going to concerts.
Those are really expensive. I
I
know you
was
went to
I went to Cardi B and that was outrageous. I didn't pay for the tickets luckily, but I'm shopping for Usher and Chris Brown tickets right now. What you mean $1,000 for nosebleed tickets?
I think artists are just gouging right now, man. Because I was looking at going to a Luke Combs concert, and it was about like $750 for floor seats, which isn't bad, but it's like his concerts aren't that long, so it's
Right.
like,
He doesn't have like a
you know what
three,
I
four
mean?
hour set.
Yeah, I think he has like, and that's like just him. That's not even him bringing people with him. Thank you so much for listening.
Wait a
Um,
minute. We still have a couple topics to touch, but right after this break.
that's exactly why he's the executive producer. I'm also the executive producer, buddy.
Okay.
Hi, welcome back, y'all. This is the Q&A session with Isaiah and Joseph. Joseph, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Do you think social media makes people more fake or more open?
That's a great question. The real question is how much time do you have? Because that's a really deep one. Um,
I mean, true, haters are gonna hate, no shade, and they have a lot of time on their hands.
they will. but I feel like social media was created for people to share their life with other people and do
Mhm.
so in a safe space. And I think sometimes that like objective has gotten lost to the point where like people just use it to like show aspects of their life that either isn't real or like are like overly exaggerated from their everyday life. And don't get me wrong, like some people do live the life that they show on Instagram or like TikTok or like social media. But like I don't think that the average everyday person is living like that. No.
Right.
You know?
Okay. That's a good answer.
All right. For you, I have what do you want people to take away from Life Unfiltered?
I just want people to take away that life can be unfiltered and you can let loose and have fun with your friends. Because what they're gonna like, if they read the book, obviously, because in the back of Middle of Mayhem, I said, see you on the flip side, life unfiltered. So what you guys saw in there is kind of filtered, dimmed down, obviously, to portray certain things in certain ways to make it publishable. But let me tell you, I am a person that likes to let loose, okay?
He is
I like to have fun with my friends, and I'm sure Zay is very aware of that. So,
very aware. Very aware.
like to have fun. So I have a question for you then.
Okay.
Have you ever felt like you had pretended you were okay when you weren't?
Yes, a lot. Actually, I was in high school and I had just gone through a really like nasty breakup. And one of my buddies kept asking me, like, hey man, are you still good to play football tonight? Because we had a really big game coming up. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm good. We had just played a doubleheader that week. We had a game on Monday and then we had another game on Friday. I was really nervous going into that game because it was a big game. It was a big rivalry game. I had scouts coming to see me, and I did not do so great in that game. I had like 4 missed blocking assignments and 2 fumbles I didn't recover. And the coach pulled me out of the game and he sat me down and he was like, if you don't get it together, you're not playing anymore. So I lied to the coach and was like, yeah, coach, I'm good. We're good to go. I'm squared away. And I blocked the field goal, but I missed the fumble recovery and I got pulled from the game. So that
Wow.
was an example of a time that I wasn't okay, but I said I was okay.
Okay, that's a good answer.
For you, I have what's something that people misunderstand about you?
That I am very over caring. Like I care so much about my friends just because I just care. Like I want to make sure people are okay. I'm not the type of person that would be like, "Oh, well, I hate your guts." No. Even if I don't like you, I'm still going to check on you. I'm still going to make sure you're okay.
That is that
I
is
just
true.
want to make sure cuz I'm a very caring person. I feel like people misunderstand that so much and they think that I'm just being extra or trying to get the tea. No, I am a very caring person deep down in my heart.
That's good, Joe. That's really good.
All right, so I think I have one more for you. What made you want to co-host with me for Life Unfiltered?
That's a great question. I feel like me and you are like on two totally opposite ends of the spectrum. Like you're very outgoing, you're very outspoken, you're very known when you walk in a room. Not by your size, but like by your personality. When I walk into a
As
room,
my mom says, I'm a social butterfly, so.
very much so, very much so. When I walk into a room, the room either gets quiet or it gets really loud. And I feel like those two opposites complement each other.
Okay.
I have one more question for you. Um, what's one conversation people avoid that needs to happen more?
I think people need to check on their friends more.
I 100% agree.
I think that is something that needs to be addressed more often because the numbers keep growing for suicide, unfortunately.
They do.
It's something that happens in life. It happened to me. I think it happened to you. Um,
Yeah.
Even though
And
you
it's
probably didn't experience it firsthand, I did. And I feel like people need to check on their friends
I
a
have.
lot more.
And it's funny that you say that, Joseph, because I was reading an article about this boy who was using AI, and AI helped him commit suicide.
It's crazy, right? Like this world is being bizarre.
And it's not just like a once in a time like occurrence. Like these cases of like AI based suicides have been like skyrocketing over the past like few years.
Yeah.
And so I think real connection now is more crucial than ever. Y'all, if you don't do anything or get anything else from this podcast, is check on your friends, check on your family.
Yes. Please do that. So I have one more question for you, and I
What's
think
up?
you have one more for me. I'm going to ask you, what does unfiltered mean to you personally?
That's a great question. Um, Unfiltered to me personally means that like you just tell it like it is, man. You can't, there's no sugarcoating it, there's no watering it down. You just give the raw, unfiltered version of what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And it needs to happen more.
Okay.
Um, I have a good question for you. This is a
Oh,
heavy one.
okay.
Um, what's something you're still healing from?
Sitting front row at a funeral. Not gonna go into too much details, but
Mm,
sitting front row definitely changed my perspective, and it kind of goes back to the one question, with the whole friends thing. Really check on your friends because you never know what they're really thinking. And sitting front row at a funeral, I feel like opened that world for me because it's really hard sitting front row.
it
And
is. I have done it
even
several.
though it wasn't like someone like personal in my family, I still had a very great connection, relationship, loving, caring person. And I lost it in a blink of an eye because I had an argument and I didn't check on him after the argument. So, if one takeaway, like Zay said, is from this podcast, please check on your friends. I'm sure you'll hear us say that a lot. But I feel like that is the biggest thing. And I want everyone to remember, make sure you love one another because that is so important in life.
Very important.
You
Very, very.
you have any final words for the Q&A? I feel
Um, just like we stressed, check on your people,
and love one another.
love one another, regardless of if like y'all might not even be on the best terms right now. Still check on your people.
Yes.
Um, I know you didn't ask me this question, but I have a question I want to ask myself.
Okay. I
What keeps you grounded? And
feel like my
again,
friends do that for me.
it go me too. It goes back to my faith, my friends, my family, just like the people and the environment around me keeps me centered and keeps me grounded in like what I have to get done and what I need to do.
Hmm.
And big for me because like I think without faith and without family, without friends, you can't really like each one of them goes hand in hand,
Right.
like without one, the other one goes wavering and
Hmm.
on and so forth. So I think that all three of them are very, very important if you have that really strong connection with all three of them.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think I have one for myself. What made me start this podcast? I just want people to personally know who I am on the inside. Because when you're reading my book, I feel like you would get an outside feel of what I want to people to know. No, I want people to know who I truly am and that I truly care about people.
and you do, Joe. You do. I can say that Joseph is like probably one of the most caring people I've met in a long time.
Like if a person asks me for money, I'm gonna send it to them, but it's
He
not
does.
gonna be like a
I,
big amount of money.
I have. I've asked him for money, and he will always send it. And that's why I love Joseph as one of my friends
And he
because
always gives it back, so I'm not
he
complaining.
will always help me. Always help me.
Now some days I be playing on the phone, like get out my phone, but it's just jokes.
Sometimes he does. Sometimes he's like, "Oh, I don't really have money," and like I know you just got paid, and I know I'm struggling, so like don't cough it up. But No, Joseph. In all seriousness, y'all, Joseph is like a really, really good person. He's a really kind, caring person, and I don't think people. I think sometimes people overlook that and just see
Hmm.
Joseph like the outward appearance of Joseph, and in reality, he's like a very deep person that has like a lot of depth to him, and he cares about the people around him very, very, very much.
Yes. Well, I hope this Q&A kind of helps you guys get to know us a little bit better from the opening podcast episode. If it doesn't, don't worry. We have so many more episodes to come and so many more segments that me and Zay are planning with our producers. So we are super excited and get you back into the episode now.
And we're back. Sorry to keep y'all waiting.
Hope that Q&A was really good that you guys had.
It was. I hope so.
Well, we're almost to the end. Got like 10 minutes left to ramble to you guys. Oh, we
Already?
should talk about what were we going to talk about? Oh my goodness, I know what I could talk about. So, I was planning this 20th birthday party. Zay was invited. You know, I talked to him about most of the stuff. Tell me why I canceled it 2 days before the event.
He did. He did. And it really irritated me.
I did.
Because I had made time to go.
Canceled it all the way through. And I still got the invites on my desk, just sitting here. We were gonna have a lit time, have fun, party, turn up for 20. But you know what? I got 21 to do that. So I guess I can make up for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Joseph, I got a question.
What's the question?
Why do you think people feel alone now in this society?
Oh, I feel like the world's just such an isolated place right now.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I can't pinpoint it, but I feel like it's so isolated. Like to make friends is so hard. Like,
I feel like it
have you
depends, you
seen
know?
these COVID babies? They look mean.
Yeah. Hey, I heard COVID babies are a different breed. I heard they are different. I heard they're like that, you know?
They look mean. And keep in mind, they about 6 years old now. So they look really mean.
Joseph, you know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
The kids that we went to elementary school with are gonna be graduating high school.
I
Like
know.
the kindergartners that we went to elementary school with are gonna be graduating high school now.
The
That's
middle
insane.
schoolers I went to middle school with are going to be graduating.
They have graduated, Joe.
Well, not yet. My middle school, my, wait a minute.
I'm taking over. He's dying right now. So bear with
Okay,
him.
I'm back after dying over here. But no, I feel like well, I don't know how your high school was, but Jersey, not high school. Oh my goodness, elementary to middle is kind of different up there. They do pre-K to fourth grade, and then fourth grade to eighth grade, and then 9 through 12. So that's why I was like, some of the middle schoolers I went to
Mm,
school with are going to be graduating now.
right. But same concept, the kindergartners that were there when
Oh
I
my
was
God,
in.
I have a question. How many class periods did you have in like high school?
Oh, dude, that depends. I think I had more classes in middle school than I had in high school.
Well, I'm
I
just
think I
talking high
had
school because I had 8 periods in high school of 40-minute classes.
I think I had 7.
In Jersey, anyway. But when I moved to North Carolina, I had four. So I was kind of happy. No
I
shade.
think I had 8 or 9. I know I had definitely had like 9 periods in middle
That's
school.
crazy.
I
Mhm.
had 9 classes in middle school, but in my first 2 years of high school were COVID, so I had 6 or 7 classes, and then my junior and senior years I had 4 classes,
Wow, that's crazy.
4 or 5 classes. I know my senior year I didn't have any classes,
My senior year, I only had like one class because I got early dismissal.
but in to answer your question that I asked, I think people are alone because we're afraid of getting hurt now.
Mm.
You know,
Relationships
I
are
feel
a
like
very touchy topic.
I feel like we've normalized like it being okay to just accept failure and like perfect example of dating. Like if me and my buddies go out and we see somebody attractive and we go up to them and they reject us, we're not gonna talk to anybody else ever. That's not okay. Like that's not how life works. You got to go out and like get out there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I tell my buddies that all the time. I'm happy. You know, I got who I want. I don't have who I want, but she knows what she. We're
I
leaving it.
don't I don't have who I want, but he know who he is.
Thank you. So
And it's not the man in the book. I met somebody new, y'all. Well, he is in the book actually. His name is Loverboy in the last one. So
you know what's funny? That was my elementary school password.
Loverboy?
Loverboy223,
Oh my,
bro.
you know what my Roblox password used to be? It's not no more, y'all, so don't even try. But it used to be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That would have been hell to type out.
Oh my god, it was. I had to have it saved in my phone because I
What
could
are we
not
even
remember.
talking about anymore? Bye, y'all. This has been Life Unfiltered.
No, no, we got to give them the proper ending. We cannot just end it like that.
Y'all, we're tired, bro.
Oh
Like,
my god, it's like almost 2 a.m. here, and it's been crazy, but I think Zay can start the ending and then we'll go along, you know? Think he's gonna eat. No shade.
all right. And y'all, that was just the beginning.
We got a lot more conversation coming and we're just getting started.
We got new episodes on the way.
We're glad you're here, and this
And this is
is
Life
Life
Unfiltered.
Unfiltered.